Hey, I'm Malcolm Venable, and this is LA Year One. Man, my first year in LA, I worked in advertising. I basically got this company to move me out here, knowing full well that I was gonna give it a year. I wanted to work in television as a writer, and I needed a way for somebody to pay for me to move. My background had been journalism, and I switched over to advertising for a couple of years, and I really wasn't happy doing it. And I knew around 2013 that I wanted to write for TV, and I basically was figuring out how to get here. And so I applied for a job in LA that I thought I didn't get. And I should also add it in the meantime, interesting story aside, is I met somebody, I was dating somebody that I really liked a lot, and he lived here, and it was going well. I came out here for a job interview, I believe it was Labor Day weekend of 2013. And it was going really well. And then I was planning on moving out here. We were gonna keep dating, and if things worked out together, we were gonna move in together. And then I was on the way to the job interview, and I accidentally picked up a piece of paper and found some medical test results, I'll say, that shocked me and were contrary to what we had discussed. So it was a huge shock. And so I went onto the job interview completely shell-shocked by this person not telling me the truth about something pretty major. So long story short, I got back home to Virginia at the time and cut that off. And I was like, damn, do I still want to move out there? It was just a real huge blow. And I was like, yeah, definitely want to still come out here. So I thought I didn't get this job, and I moved to Atlanta thinking that, okay, I could work in Atlanta for a while and kind of work in the entertainment industry in Atlanta, and then parlay my way to LA from there. And I was in Atlanta maybe 9 months, hated that job. And then it was over. I got fired, actually. I hated it, and I was just didn't give a fuck. And I got fired, and it was the first time I've been fired in my whole life, and it was really devastating. And I remember being very depressed. It was winter in Atlanta, it was just awful. And I started to really focus on my my meditation practice and my visualization, and just really kind of energy work and deciding what I wanted for myself. And 2 weeks later, the job that I thought I didn't get in LA, they called me here. So I got here and worked in advertising for another year. And within 3 or 4 months, I knew this wasn't it, but I would give it a year. And plus, they did the work of moving me and all my stuff out here. So the large part of the battle was sort of over because I was here. Yeah, and then while I was here, that first year in LA was kind of rough because I was working at a job I didn't really love in advertising brand strategy. And it's kind of thankless work. I've been a writer my whole life. And so I was building a lot of presentations and decks and going to a lot of meetings and just doing work that didn't really inspire me a whole lot. On top of that, not a lot of people I knew were out here. So I had a couple friends that were here, but not as many great friends as I have now. And then I didn't really know the city that well, so it was kind of difficult to navigate around. And yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just sort of okay, I'm here, and kind of now what? It was a very kind of, I got what I wished for, and now what kind of phase of my life and of my life in LA. And then after that first year at that job, I left. I quit. And that was the first time in my life that I've ever left a job without having another one lined up, which was a little scary, but I was, I don't know, maybe 37 or 8. And at that time in my life was I really have to manifest what I want rather than just sort of abiding by going with whatever, because you get to a certain point in your life and you have to decide what you want and go for it. So I quit that, and then a month later, another job in entertainment and working close in the TV industry opened up, and that's when things really started to shift and put me much closer to what I came here to do. So I thought before I moved here that I had to have perfect physique, that my body had to be fully snatched. Because when you look at LA on TV, you look at footage of people on Venice Beach and everybody's body's all put together, you gotta be beautiful. And I quickly learned that no, that's silly. It's really silly. I don't know, maybe it's the gay thing, but I definitely feel I need to get it together here. get this Pillsbury Doughboy thing finished to take care of once and for all, maybe some lipo or something like that. I was prepared for, I guess, the TV world to be a little bit less supportive and a little bit more difficult. And I say that partially because I started my career in magazine journalism. I went to grad school at Columbia for journalism. And I quickly found out as soon as I finished school that people were not really as helpful breaking into the industries I thought they were, particularly Black people. Like I expected Black people to be a little bit more supportive and have a little bit more of a community. And I found that almost the opposite was true, that other writers from magazines, back when people cared about that, were really kind of insular and kind of like the hoards resources and very cliquey and stuff. And I guess part of that is just being in New York too. But I got here and found that there's just such a big community of people who are really supportive and really trying to foster a sense of community and togetherness within the TV and film industry, I would say. I mean, nobody's gonna hand you food out of their own mouth, but I did find that it's a bit more of a sort of welcoming atmosphere. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that there's not a lot of Black people in LA, period. I think even statistically, if you look at the numbers, LA, I think I just looked at this, LA is about 54% white. The other major half is Latino, Hispanic, and then it's Asian, and then Black is something like 8% or something like that. So I think part of the reason, in my opinion, that Black people tend to be a little bit more communal together is that there's just so few of us, and when we see each other, we're like, oh shit, hey, and how can we help each other? I would say find your network and develop your network. I would say LA can be a really kind of lonely place. I mean, I guess all big cities are, and so to a degree, but LA, first of all, it's so spread out, so you are really going to find times when you're just not able to hang out with people like you're used to. And I can only speak from coming from the East Coast, having lived in New York and Virginia and Atlanta, where you could kind of get around a little bit more easily and quickly. So being here, your network is just so important. Finding people that you click with and vibe with and that are kind of have the same passions as goals as you do is super crucial, because even with your homies, your really good friends, especially if they live, on the other side of town, you ain't gonna see them that often. So it's important to find ways to be together and stick together. So that's number one. Save money. LA can be surprisingly, I guess, affordable. There's ways to live frugally here and get by, but you also want to be able to have money to do stuff. So money's important. I would say another big thing, I guess, about moving out here, I don't know, for me, I'm just gonna say it, avoid the valley. I'm a valley denier. It's hot up there. You gotta have air conditioning. On the flip side, I live near the beach, and a lot of buildings in my neighborhood don't have air conditioning. So that kind of can suck when it's 105 degrees in the summer. But I like living close to the beach, and I like being able to have everything close by me. So I'm a valley hater. Sorry, valley people. I'm currently senior editor at TV Guide, where I write about television, do a lot of interviews with talent and producers. Yeah, cover television. It's actually, as I was mentioning before, it just arrived at the right time, and it lined up perfectly with my experience in journalism for a long time, and then also my ambition and goal and plan to be writing a scripted television. So the job really was an ideal way for me to learn the industry from not a bird's eye view, but a close up view, I should say. And also obviously make connections with people within the industry and learn how it works and operates. So that's been hugely beneficial and fun, although it's time. So I'm probably gonna be making a transition soon.
All right, great, that was perfect. Thank you.
All right.